I think we're live.
We're live.
We're live. It's nice to be live.
Yes. Good
Hi,
morning.
everyone. Welcome to the Charleston Real Estate Report for this week. This is July 8th, 2020. And I'm Keith Lucas with the Keith Lucas team at the Charleston Real Estate Company.
And I'm Danny. I'm a buyer specialist at the Keith Lucas team at the Charleston Real Estate Company.
That's a mouthful. We got to figure that out. But anyway, for those of you that are joining us for the first time, welcome. We appreciate you tuning in. And for those repeat folks that are joining us for the, second, third, fifth time, whatever it happens to be, welcome back. Glad you could make it. As you probably know, we talk about a lot of different things that are going on here in just the Charleston area, as well as the Charleston real estate market, being that both Danny and I are real estate agents. I'm actually a broker. Danny is an agent. And we work in the greater Charleston area. So that's the Tri-County area. And we cover a lot of ground. So we get to see a lot of things that are going on in the Charleston area, the Charleston market, and we wanted to kind of share that all with you. We get a lot of requests and questions from people about Charleston and what's going on here. And, you know, they ask about the food, they ask about the attractions, they ask about, living, of course, here, what's it like and, what are the costs and things like that. And, we figured that, through these broadcasts, we can deliver some of that information to you and maybe even spur some other questions that you may have. So if you do have questions and you want to connect with us, feel free to do so. We're happy to give you whatever information that you need. So moving right along in today's broadcast, I do have some exciting news because for the first time in a very, very, very long time, we've actually gone ahead and changed our logo from what it used to be. And I'm not sure if I have one here somewhere. I don't. But anyway, I'm sure you've seen it before. And I just wanted to share with you, this is our new logo.
I love it.
Starting like yesterday. So you'll start seeing it across all of our social platforms, on all of our emails, on our websites, all the places that you typically go. That's one version of it. And then there's the official version with our tagline in it right there, rooted in history. So just wanted to share that with you. We're excited about it. We worked on it for a while and it came down to a couple of choices, but that's the one that works best for us that I think really represents our company in the most accurate and best way. So that's one thing we want to share with you. And Danny, I know that you're pretty excited about this new app that came out recently.
Yeah. So it's called Beach Access.
Beach Reach.
Beach Reach. So this gives you live video feeds and stuff of like the IOP connector. You can check out the Windjammer, see how the surf is on the beaches. It gives you some really good information as well, like the dog leash laws. You can check out Folly Beach, Sullivan's Island, IOP. It's a nice little app just to kind of see what's going on before you head out. It'll give you traffic updates as well. So I know 4th of July, I was down in Isle of Palms over the weekend, and you didn't know what you're going to get with the traffic on IOP, so you didn't really know until you get there. And
yeah, I think when we were talking before, I shared with you that I went to one of the big box stores that was kind of by the connector, but the traffic was backed up from Isle of Palms over the bridge itself, through the connector, all the way up to Route 17, and then north, all the way up to the Harris Teeter, which is almost a mile away from the connector itself. So all told, that was probably, I would say, 5 to 7 miles worth of traffic trying to get onto Isle of Palms. So this app, I think, is great. The timing is perfect with it because you never want to go and add to the chaos. You want to go really early or when there's a window of opportunity, and now you're able to actually see that. So
I lucked out. For some reason, I feel like it was busier on Friday than it actually was on the 4th of July. I think a lot of people might have been avoiding the beach on Friday, on Saturday, because the traffic really didn't hit until you get to that hump on the connector.
Yeah.
That was at like 11.
Yeah, the beaches are fantastic. Everything is going well down there. Parking is somewhat at a premium. The county lot on IOP, I know, fills up pretty quickly. Sullivan's is still closed down as far as being able to go and sit on the beach. You can walk on the beach and all that, but they want you to keep moving. And Folly Beach is back open as well. So if you are here going to the beach, or if you are coming into town and plan on going to the beach, just keep in mind that social distancing stuff, because, a lot of places, especially Florida, they've seen a big spike, and they're attributing a lot of that to people going to the beach, gathering on the beach. And, speaking of the COVID virus, as many of you know, South Carolina has also become a hotspot, right?
Yeah, unfortunately.
Yeah, our numbers are up a lot. Certain counties are higher than others. Charleston is not in the top 5 or 6, which is kind of good.
Yeah.
But what they're kind of attributing this spike to in a big way is kind of the reopening, and it's trending. What they're seeing, it's trending to younger people aged about 21 to about 35.
Because we're all going out to the restaurants and bars.
Yeah, that's what I think really did it. And all those establishments and all those attractions were trying to get their stuff put together, to abide by all the social distancing rules. But, I think they probably need to fine tune that a little bit, because I think that's where it's coming from.
Yeah.
When you see that trend of younger people, a lot of them really don't think that they're susceptible to this. They can catch this. And I think they're finding out that that's a wrong assumption. I think that this virus is non-discriminating. It'll take on anyone. So if you are...
Sorry to interrupt. The restaurants are doing a good job, though. I know they're testing all of their employees every time they come in for a shift. And then if anybody has come down with the virus or has a temperature or anything, they'll close for about 24, 48 hours and sanitize the entire place and stuff. And they're pretty good on Facebook. They'll let people know if that's, what they have to do if they're temporarily closed. Yeah.
So just, wanted to share that with you folks and kind of give you a quick, COVID update here. If you are planning on coming to town, it's okay. It's kind of reversed now, where just a couple of weeks ago, we here in South Carolina closed down our borders to people from the Northeast and a couple of other states. And they needed to self-quarantine when they got here for 14 days. Now that's kind of shifted around. Those same states that asked us to self-quarantine before going to visit their state, we're now asking them, or they're asking us, I should say, when we're going to their states to self-quarantine. And there's one state, I don't want to say it's Kentucky, I may be wrong, but I think it's Kentucky. Yeah. And they not only want you to self-quarantine 14 days prior to going, but also to take a test and be negative before you travel to their state. So that's something that's kind of new. I've never saw that before. But
I just want to throw out too, on July 10th and the 11th, starting at 10 a.m., they are going to be doing free COVID testing at the Trident Technical College. It's at 7000 Rivers Ave. So 10 a.m. July 10th till 3 p.m. July 11th.
And that's North Charleston, right?
Yep. So if anybody needs, wants to get tested, just be on the safe side. If you're feeling sick, it's free. I think you get the results back pretty quickly too.
Yeah. And some people are getting tested on a regular basis because they may be, carrying it, but not being affected by it, and they don't want to spread it. So it's always a good idea, I think, to get a test. And, we got to put a cap on this thing and start getting that curve to go back down. Businesses are open here. The restaurants are open. Even the movie theaters are open. Bowling alleys are open. Beaches are open. Stores are open. Churches are open. But we still need to take some precautions. We're not back at full strength for sure. But I think, in the next couple of weeks, we should see that kind of reversing and going out. So let's talk about a little bit happier topic, because as I was saying just a minute ago, there's lots of things to do. And Danny, I know you have an affinity for the ocean, for fish and everything else. And this is something I'm sure you're going to be taking your son Jackson to.
If I can get him to wear the face mask, yes, because they have a requirement. You do, all ages have to wear a face mask at the aquarium. But yeah, this is a cool thing. It's in the new exhibit that they have going on. I think you have a little, it's called Monsters. And it's just looking into all the different types of creatures, from, tiny little bugs all the way up to, I'm not sure if they have the megalodon, but I'm pretty sure they'll have like a megalodon thing about it.
Yeah. Yeah. They're calling it the micro to mega.
Micro to mega, yeah.
So that's pretty cool. It's not just for kids. That's something I'm definitely going to do. I love going to the aquarium. It's fascinating. I've always loved it. I too have an affinity for the ocean. I love being on the water and seeing all the marine life and all of the different, I guess the whole ecosystem there. It's really cool, especially in South Carolina, because here you do have the ocean. You have the sparkling Atlantic Ocean, but you also have the marshes and the tidal creeks. And, a couple times a day, that whole environment changes, because, as the tides change, the wildlife in those areas and the fish, they all change. And it's pretty cool to be able to witness that. I've seen some pretty bizarre things, in the marsh areas where I see actually full-grown deer, swimming across the intercoastal waterway. And that's a sight right there. I've seen we finally identified it because we didn't know what it was, but it was a swamp cat. It kind of looked like a small, like, panther. And he just hangs out in the marsh, and they're rarely, seen, and they're very elusive. They're shy, but we're able to see them. So it's really cool. So it's really diverse, and that's one of the other big attractions here.
Jackson's favorite thing is the stingrays. Right when you enter, they have the big stingray pool, and you can pet them, feed them fish, stuff like that. He's obsessed with that. You could sit there all day.
Yeah, that's pretty cool too. Just some other things that were going on. Obviously, we just had the 4th of July last Saturday, which is not quite a week away ago. And, one of the big traditions, it's not here, it's more up in New York that they do this, but, throughout the country, one of the big favorite foods is the hot dogs. So, they have the big hot dog contest up north, and then, in New York, and then, just around the country, of course, barbecues are going, grills are going, and that's one of the main staples. And if you think I'm just kind of saying that out of, because it's an obvious thing to say, we did a little bit of research on it, and, we'll share what we learned on this. It was pretty interesting, to say the least. I'm saying interesting instead of gross, but I like hot dogs, but not like this. So the report that was put out was on the 4th of July. There were 150 million hot dogs eaten in this nation.
That's insane.
That's a lot of hot dogs.
Yeah.
But if you take those hot dogs, and this is the really interesting factoid, you take those hot dogs, stack them end to end or lay them end to end, it would go from Washington, D.C. to Los Angeles 5 times.
What?
Yes, 5 times. That's pretty amazing. That's in one day, 150 million. So I don't know if those were footlongs or smaller or jumbos or whatever, or Chicago dogs or New York dogs, but I got to tell you, that's a lot of hot dogs. So that's something that I guess is just a big 4th of July tradition. And we had a great 4th of July here. The weather was good. Things were relatively calm. Lots of fireworks. There weren't any real public displays of, put on by the counties or the towns or cities or whoever. But I think just in my neighborhood alone, there probably was about, and just on my street, probably $5,000 to $10,000 worth of fireworks that were shot off.
Oh, for sure. Yeah. We got some fireworks as well. And I'm telling you, these fireworks stands probably raked it in this this 4th of July. But yeah, we got about, I don't know, $250 worth of fireworks, which actually is not a lot. But we went down to Charleston National and lit them off in the parking lot. But everybody else was all these houses were kind of having a competition, it looked like, to see who had the better firework display.
Right.
So,
Yeah, it was pretty cool. So yeah, looking forward to next 4th of July. Hopefully things will be opened up a little bit more where we'll be able to experience all that kind of stuff and, celebrate the way that we used to. And, it wasn't bad. It was a lot of fun, but it was just different, obviously with the whole COVID thing going on. One of the things that I get a lot of requests about, and I know, Danny, you've heard this as well, is, when we're talking about these different topics, we see what's going on out there because we're in the community, we're traveling, we're talking to people, we're showing homes and listing homes and things like that. But some of this news isn't really kind of out there where we're traveling, so we rely on some news sources as well. And one of the best ones that we found, and we want to share this with you, is actually called CHS Today. Now, if you've ever flown into Charleston, you know that CHS is actually the call sign for the Charleston Airport. So this is CHS Today, and it's a daily newsletter. You can get it delivered right to your inbox every single morning. You could read it on your browser, on your computer. You can get it on your phone. And it really is chock full of news and information about what's happening in Charleston. It's some news, some COVID updates. It's events that are happening. It's all those kind of things that you really don't get from the mainstay media. From watching the television, the news at night. The news is telling you a lot of things that are, somebody, got robbed, or there was a terrible car accident or something like this. This actually gives you, kind of a peek behind the scenes and tells you what's going on as far as events and news and things like that. So you could subscribe. And of course, we'll put the link to this at the bottom of the video. So if you'd like to go check it out, you can certainly do that. And I suggest that you use it. It's a great tool. It's a great guide to Charleston. If you already live here, you'll love it because you'll understand where things are and kind of get what they're talking about. If you're not from the area, it's a great way to get yourself introduced to the area and kind of explore it, because you can look things up. They have a lot of great links and you can see what's going on. So I would suggest that if you haven't already subscribed to it, go ahead and subscribe to it. It's a great service that they provide.
Yeah, I love that.
Yeah, it's really cool. Let's see, what do we got next on our list?
Can we jump into some stats?
Yeah, some stats. Before we get to the stats, let's talk about just one last thing. Well, there's a couple more things, but for your baseball fans, I know Major League is scheduling some games, a very short season. Unfortunately, that is not the same thing that's going to happen in the minor leagues. And I say that because one of the big attractions here in Charleston are the Charleston River Dogs. It's the minor league team. Actually, Bill Murray is part owner of that team, and he's been known to show up there. And it's a great venue, a great place to spend an afternoon or an evening. But unfortunately, the minor leagues commissioner has decided, or I guess the commission itself has decided, to suspend the season for 2020. So that means no River Dogs for us.
Yeah, it stinks.
So, yeah, it kind of does. Okay, I know you're chomping at the bit because you love all the stats and you love the real estate and everything else. So why don't we kind of jump into that a little bit and share what's going on, in the market? I know there's a couple of trends kind of emerging.
Yeah. So, right now, I think there you go. There's 791 new listings came on the market in the last week. 627 properties closed, and 565 went under contract. Those are great numbers.
Yeah, those numbers are really good, and it's nice to see that the listings are outpacing the new under contracts,
Yes.
because it's been very competitive in the Charleston market. When a new house comes on, it gets besieged, but with showings and people asking all kinds of information about it, and even getting multiple offers because the inventory is tight. The other good thing is the prices really haven't gone up that much. And now, Danny, you got some info on that too. We'll talk about that in a minute. But when you look at the new listings at almost 800 and, the under contracts around just over 550, that's a nice spread to see that there's a couple of hundred left on the market,
Mm-hmm.
and that things seem to be maybe shifting around a little bit where we're going to be seeing more inventory come on.
Yeah.
We will track this. We will let you know if that really does become a trend. And of course, closings at 627, that's fantastic as well. There's 627 new home owners that are really ecstatic, and 627 ex-homeowners that are really ecstatic that they were able to get their home sold.
Yeah.
So if you all have any questions about any specific areas or neighborhoods, please let us know. There's my phone number right there. Happy to give you a more detailed look at what's going on in specific areas if you'd like to do that. And I know, Danny, that some of the prices have kind of shifted a little bit too.
Well, yeah, if you look at the price range that sells that has the strongest sales right now, it's between $200,000 and $300,000 range. They're only staying up days on market for about 35 days. That's the strongest selling property price range right now.
Right.
Condos are actually having the strongest sales versus single family homes. It's up 9% compared to last year. Single family home sales are up 7.6%. So sales are still going up.
Yeah. Okay. Well, it's a very robust market, a very healthy market, even though we're still dealing with the COVID virus situation.
Mm-hmm.
We are practicing, safe home showings, sanitizing and masks and gloves and all that. And of course, Danny and I are happy to do virtual showings for you. If you see a property that you like and you want to take a look at it, we're happy to go ourselves and do a live video back to you. We could do a recorded one as well, but the live one allows you to ask questions and see things a little bit more in detail. So we're happy to do that. So that's what's going on in the real estate market. And I know that some of you are really interested in this next topic because I've shared a few of these cold beers with you. We'll just leave you with this thought. There's going to be an actual Charleston Beer Fest coming up July 16th. And that's a virtual one. So what you get to do is, with all the craft breweries around here, specialty breweries, they're going to be online talking about various aspects of the brewing process and what they're using and how they do it, and the different beers that they're producing. And here's the big news: they're actually going to have a physical festival that's going to be in September. I think September 26th, if I remember correctly. Again, social distancing, all that kind of stuff, but that's become a real hot item here in the Charleston area. Is all the breweries. They're doing a lot of events still. It's half the capacity and things like that. But there's a couple of you out there that I know really enjoy that. Like I said, we shared a few together. It's a lot of fun, and I look forward to September because I'm definitely looking for that. Yeah, good. Well, thank you so much for joining us today. We really appreciate your time and respect your time and know it's valuable, and thank you for spending it with us and learning more about Charleston. If you have any questions, please feel free to reach out to us. Again, I'm Keith at the Keith Lucas team at Charleston Real Estate Company. My phone number is 843-834-5000. You can reach me at keith@keithlucasteam.com. And Danny, I know you have your contact info ready as well.
Yep, my name is Danny, and you can reach me. I'm a buyer specialist at the Charleston Real Estate Company. You can reach me at 978-857-0540, or you can email me at Danny, DANNY, Evan Johnson @gmail.com.
Awesome. Well, thanks again for tuning in. We look forward to seeing you next week. And again, if you have any questions, feel free to reach out. Take care.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye.